we can stay on top of what's going on and stay connected and create a community of facts so that people lose their fears. And it's a happy Tuesday, Jimmy.
You know, I was listening to Purpose Driven Life, and he says if you cut your toe off of your body, your toe shrivels and dies. So the body is what you're talking about, this community here, staying connected right now. If you separate yourself and get away from this body of connection here, you wither and die. This is a really important thing for you to be doing right now. And for the people that are listening in, this is a really critical strategy to stay healthy. Very important.
Yes.
Thank you.
Yeah. And today I think we're going to start off with some stats. I told you yesterday that today we would have the March 30th stats, and I'm happy to report that yesterday we had 81 listings that sold, which means 162 agents got paid, or 162 sides if somebody double-sided it, and the average price was $323,800, and I think that's at 832. So an average price of $323. And then, Jimmy,
Ruthie, before you go into any more statistics, I want to make sure that they are clear. These are the deals that agents actually reported as closed deals, not new open sales. These were ones that the seller and the buyer said, give us our money, here's the deal, and the agent got paid. These are closed deals.
Yes. And then I want to bring up, to your point, if you want to go over these, the new listings, and start at the top, and we'll recount those and see what people have to say about all this.
Absolutely. Do you want me to start?
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, well, the new listings in the last 7 days, there's been about 100 listings a day, 734 new listings, and Ruthie hasn't broken down for you condos, townhomes, and single-family homes. And March 30th, there was 101. That's 1 day's listings, which is about average. There's about 100 a month. So we're right in line. The real estate business has not slowed down according to these numbers. And the number that went under contract in the last week, 489. So if you list 734, and you sell 489, that's about a 70% sale rate. So buyers do not be fooled by the fact that, so there's some buyers that are saying, I'm going to wait. 70% of these houses sold. That's significant.
I think so too. And yesterday we had 57 properties that went under contract.
And that's what was reported.
Yeah. I mean, that's amazing. And 81 closed escrow, like we said earlier. So, Jimmy, what's your take on the stats?
Well, the 57 that went under contract on Monday, I don't know about your Monday, but some people's Mondays are crazy. I think this number is going to go up today. And I mentioned to you earlier, just privately, Carrie Cassane is one of the escrow officers at Chicago Title. She's a very skilled, very busy escrow officer. She's related to one of my partners. She opened 10 escrows herself on Monday morning. So whether the agents actually got around to sticking those in the computer or not, I don't know. But she opened 10. That's one escrow officer.
That's amazing, isn't it?
Yeah, yeah.
I love that. I'm so jazzed that we are learning how to work under these situations, which are historical. This has never happened before. And agents are learning how to deal with the time that we're going through.
And you have some hints on that today, right?
I do.
Wow, I'm excited to hear them. I might have seen that report, but I didn't read it. I know you fine-tooth combed it.
Well, we'll see. So Jimmy talks about NAR and why we pay NAR what we do. And so I follow NAR pretty closely. And they had a short video. It was like 2.5 minutes. And I'm just going to recap it for you. And the video was about explaining how to do virtual showings. So there's a lot of agents, especially in Las Vegas, that have been doing virtual showings, mainly because so many of our people that come here from other states. 4,000 people a month that move here are from somewhere else. I mean, that's a huge number. And it's a great time if you're in social media, if you're doing Facebook and you're doing LinkedIn, is to do these virtual showings. And you're just basically showing people a property. And here's what NAR says as far as how to do it. And I'm going to read some of this because I don't have it memorized. Yesterday was a busy day. We did our first series of our Social Media Strategy Academy Facebook class. We went over LinkedIn yesterday, and tomorrow we go over Facebook. But anyway, so that took up like 5 hours of my day. So what they say is the first thing that you should do is find out, like if you're doing a virtual tour, you ask your client how they would like to receive it. Would they like to, what vehicle? Would it be Zoom? Would it be Facebook Live? Would it be FaceTime? I mean, how, or would they like to participate with you? And that's the key, is to get them to participate with you while you do it. And so you have to find that out first. That's important. So anyway, you pick a day when you want to go do the property, and you get out of the car, and the whole time now you're showing them on your phone as you're walking up the sidewalk, and you're explaining as you do that, the amenities of the home, perhaps the area, and the age of the home, the size of the lot, and yeah, there's Gigi. Got to say hi to Gigi. Sorry, everybody. I'm going to put this down here for now. Okay. So you're walking up with the phone, and you're showing them and telling them, you're showing them the house, and as you're doing that, you're telling them the amenities, the size, some of the things about the home that they're about to see. And so, what you want to do is, be able to give them what they need while you're conducting the virtual tour. And here's some 3 helpful hints that NAR is giving us. First of all, like I said, find out what app works for them. Whether it's FaceTime, Google Hangouts, or whatever, with someone else, use that app if you don't have it to readapt to them, because it's really about them, making it easy for them, eliminating the friction for them. So if you don't know how to use what they use, Google it, YouTube it, learn how to do it, so that the next day you're on the same app that they are. That's a big tip, because some of us shy away from doing things that we don't know how to do. But in these times, we have some time to learn.
Well, and NAR mentioned Vimeo, and in their report, they mentioned 5 or 6 different platforms. It's a very complete report, very complete.
Yeah, thank you. And the second thing is to communicate the size, so that you can give them perspective when you walk through the space. So if it has high ceilings, you need to tell them, look, these ceilings are 20 feet high. And then you point to the door and say, this place has a lot of volume, and I'll tell you why, because you see that the door is 7 feet or 8 feet. Now look how much more ceiling space there is. So this gives you some tips on how to give them perspective, because a lot of times, they don't know that there's another 6 feet above that door. So you need to tell them, look, the door is 8 feet. There's another 8 feet above the door. So the ceilings are 16 feet high. So you must give them, that's really important to people. And then you're right there, and let's see what else Far says. You're having this conversation. So they're asking you questions, and that's the other thing. Say, what do you think of this? And get their feedback, just like you would if they were standing beside you. It's better for them to also assure you, to assure them that you're putting their safety first by doing this. That they don't have to travel right now, that you're doing this as a service for them. And that's why these virtual showings are very important. And there's different ways to do it depending where you are in the country. And of course, we're in Vegas, so there's different things that we want to point out to people, perhaps maintenance-free lawns, drip systems, things like that. So, and the size of the property is important to people, depending on where they come from. And so, it's critical to stay in touch with their feelings as you're going through and showing them the amenities in the kitchen, and updating them on, where they can go to look at this property on the MLS, or maybe it's a coming soon property. And I always encourage people to do, if you know that there's a property that's going to come on the market, reach out to some of your people and tell them this isn't on the market yet, but if you like it, you might want to make an early offer, things of that nature. So, anybody, you wanted to chime in with anything, Jimmy?
I do. There's a principle called transference. And when they show kids commercials, kids playing with toys, they show the toy and the kid's hands. They don't show the kid because that allows the other kid to put themselves in that picture. And I don't know if you've heard of the Home Shopping Network.
Yes.
If we watched a couple of their demonstrations, they're selling a $9 blender or something like that, and they sell 1 million of the suckers. And Buffini has a phrase. Buffini says, "Can you see yourself living in this house?" And that pulls them right in. If this is a house that might actually work for them, can you see yourself living in here? They scratch their head. It's called cognitive dissonance. And they come to grips with the fact, you know what, I could see myself living here. And that's when the decision happens. You know what, let's make an offer. Can't you see? First, you show them the house. You point out the features, as you said. You show them what the value is. And then you ask them, can you see yourself living here? And all along the way, as you said, you keep them engaged in the whole thing. Home Shopping Network does a great job of showing us how to sell something. Not that I ever watch it myself, you understand.
Right. Yeah. Well, the other thing too is to find out why, if you can, to find out why the seller bought the house. And we mentioned this the other day, because the sellers, they at one point loved that home. What was it about that home that they loved? They may have to move now because they're upsizing, they're having kids, or they're downsizing because they're retiring, or they're being relocated. But there was something that made those people love that house. And it's really good to get that feedback from your sellers. I mean, the house obviously has amenities that somebody liked for some reason.
Yeah. And that emotion that the seller had when they bought that house, that transfers to the buyer too. When the buyer sees how convicted the seller was when they bought the house, and they may just be moving so their kids don't come back home. You never know.
And you're going to find out things. The consumer who's watching this, the buyer who's watching this, is going to ask you questions that you can, if you don't know the answer, the three biggest words in real estate are, I don't know, but I'll find out. And, to keep the interaction going. But it's interesting when you're doing this, because Karen, hi, yes, I wish Michelle was on here too to give us her feedback, because what I find is that people are more open. They're going to ask you questions that they might not have asked you face to face. It's amazing how that works.
That's a good point. The new home sales, many of the tracks have closed their offices. You have to call to make an appointment. They're still showing the houses. They're still selling a lot of houses. But their track record, when you went out to a new home track, they would greet you. But if they're going to take you to the models, they would tell you about the builder, the track record, the construction materials before you ever even got in the house. And that was a really good model. As you said, when you get out of the car, let me take a shot of the neighborhood. Let me tell you about this builder. Let me tell you about this. Before you even ever get into the actual property, they're selling you on the stability of all kinds of things that in the back of your mind you're not thinking of, but they're major convictors.
They are. And you might know that there's a Starbucks within 20 minutes, the downtown. Well, it's important to people.
It is.
It is. And, that there's a Cane's Fried Chicken down the street, or that what schools are in the surrounding area, and some demographics. And you can share some poignant information with them that make you really look like you're on top of your game, which you are if you're doing this. And so the more things that you can think about sharing with them, the better it's going to be, and the more comfortable they're going to feel, because that's what the whole point is. You want them to feel comfortable with this home without actually being in there and touching it.
It's a great way to drive traffic to your site. If you say, look, I have the schools report on my website. If you want to check out the schools report on this particular neighborhood, and also the surrounding amenities or whatever, that's all on my website. So they can go there at their leisure, because you're trying to show the house, and that just builds value in that particular website that you have. So they start going there.
Right. Yeah. And if you started doing a house a day, just on your business page, and just paying $5-6 to boost it out to people in California, do you know what kind of traction you would get right now? Because those people are in lockdown. And so they are probably on Facebook. Facebook is having some of the most interaction they've ever had right now. So I would just really, really recommend that people go out, and if there's vacant homes, go do the vacant home. John just listed a couple homes in Sun City, and Sun City is a fun place to do videos, because there's so many different amenities there that you can share with people. And 1/3 of the people that live in Las Vegas are retired. So, and again, 1/3 of the people that move here are from California. So somewhere in there lies some numbers that you are going to reach when you start videoing places like retirement communities and just boosting them out there to people in California. You target your audience. And if you did that every day, people would say, oh, I wonder what Jimmy's going to do today. I liked that house yesterday, but and you would be amazed at what would happen if you did that for the next 30 days till April 30th.
Well,
I mean,
correct me if I'm wrong, Ruthie, but you have talked about the reason people move here. The weather in Las Vegas hasn't changed any, has it? It's still really good weather here, yeah?
yes,
And
it is.
and the tax impacts of moving here. I mean, California's got good weather too, but the taxes there kill everybody. So they got to move here because of taxes. So I think those are two of the major drivers that are going to cause that 4,000 people to keep coming. And if they keep coming, the listings are going to keep selling. And if you're a buyer, you're competing with those people that are coming. And I don't think the weather and the taxes situation, I don't think that's going to change. Every state's got coronavirus issues, every one. So this is all over, but taxes and weather, we have some benefits here and I have a new tack I want to take when you're done with this part.
Well, I'm pretty much done. I just want to really convince people that they should do this so that we can continue to show homes in Las Vegas, show how we are being very careful when it comes to people's safety in the next 30 days that we so far that's how long Vegas is going to be shut down. I understand. So it will just make you show people that you're giving value, which is what social media is all about if you use it properly.
And I
So
think
Jimmy,
that's the key. What you're saying is show the value by going out there every day and doing a property every day. That's consistency is a major driver of trust. You're showing them, you're not telling them, you're showing them that you're still out showing houses and looking at houses. Inside the law of attraction is the word get out in the market, do one house a day, 5 or 6 days a week. Your clients see that, your prospects see that, your people see that, and that means you're still working. I want to work with an agent who's going to work. So I'm thinking that there may be some investors that are thinking this might be the right time to buy a house as an investment. Because they're going to, even though they deferred their tax due date, they still are going to have to pay taxes. And the class that we have coming up on the 13th is how to figure cap rates. Cap rates are cash on cash. How does an investor measure stuff? Do I speak investor? And on Friday, the Real Estate Commission approved live streaming as CE credits. So the people that were thinking about coming to class, oh, I have another 3 months, you can stay home. We'll Zoom it out or whatever platform Kane wants to use. And we'll give the classes on the 13th from 10 to 1. It's on cap rates or cash on cash. I think when investors start coming back into the market, if you already know this language, well, how do you figure a cap rate? How do you figure cash on cash? Because I think investors are going to wake up and say, you know what? I don't want the volatility. Real estate has managed to keep its value. I've seen it over the last 30, 45, 60 days. It's not going anywhere.
Jimmy, what time is the class on date? I mean, April 10th?
It's the 13th of April. So 2 days before tax day, April 15th. So it's a Monday, April 13th from 10 to 1. And the Real Estate Commission's notice, I believe, said you need to sign into the class 10 to 15 minutes early. You can't show up at 10 o'clock and just log in because there's a download. You have to download the course materials. And the instructor is going to say, hold up your course materials. Let me see your APOD worksheet. Let me see that. Let me see that you have the pieces so I can give you credit, because the instructor's got to certify that this person was in their chair. You have to have a camera. There's rules. If you go to the Real Estate Division's website, you can read the rules for getting CE, but you don't have to drive anywhere. You don't have to drive to the class. You don't have to drive home. You have to worry about social distancing. You can do it from home and still get your live classroom continuing education from it. And I think I commend the Real Estate Commission for moving so quickly on this. I wrote them a letter. They did this before they even got my letter.
Wow. And it's called cap rates?
Or cash on cash.
Cash on cash.
Do you speak investor? That's the name of the class. Do you speak investor? Investors talk about cap rates. If you don't know what a cap rate is or how to compute a cap rate, this investor might wonder what else you don't know.
Exactly. And on the Agent Formula website, we do have a cash flow calculator too that we'll introduce at the class as well, and give it as a handout. It's a great tool to give an investor different samples of, if this home is $300,000 and the rent's $1,300, what is their return on investment and what are the expenses? And there's different expenses, different HOAs, different taxes, different insurance on even the same price of a property based on where it's located. So you can use this tool that we're going to give you when you stream into the class. And it's just excellent, and it's things that you can use for social media postings and talk about it and then send it out to people. So what Jimmy's saying is, if you sign up, B.Vegas, go to B.Vegas and sign up for the class on April 13th, and it's called what?
Cap rates or cash on cash. Do you speak investor?
Do you speak investor? You'll see it. It's on April 13th on our website. Sign up for it. It's only $10. There's no free lunch, but there's lots of information.
This is definitely a class I would advise my agents to take. You need to be able to work with investors, because when they come into the market, it's too late to learn this stuff. You have to learn it before they get here, and they're coming.
Yes, they're coming.
I'm convicted. They're coming.
Oh, they're coming. Yeah, they're definitely coming. Especially everybody needs to realize that the money, the stock market lost a lot of investors, and they've got their money sitting there waiting to invest. And real estate is one of the biggest wealth builders that we have.
They're figuring that out. They're going to come.
Yeah. There's Larissa. Hi, Larissa. Good to see you. Let's talk about the Brian Buffini, because we only have 2 signups, Jimmy.
Okay. Well, you remember the story about the farmer and the preacher? You remember the story about the farmer and the preacher?
Probably not.
Okay. Well, this guy goes to evangelical school so he can learn to preach fire and brimstone and give sermons and heal people and all that kind of stuff. 4 years he studies. He studies for 4 years. So it's finally time for him to go out on the road. So he goes out to this big farming community, and he builds this great big tent to house 350, 400 people, something like that. Big. He's all ready. He's all pumped up to do this. And it starts to rain on Tuesday, and Wednesday keeps raining, and Thursday keeps raining. By Friday, some of the roads are washed out. Saturday, some of the bridges go out. Sunday morning, he's ready. He's been preparing 4 years. Only one guy shows up. And he asks the guy, he says, "God, I don't know what to do." And the guy says, "Well, look, I'm just an old farmer, but you know what? I came, and I got a bunch of cows. If only one cow comes, I still feed him." And the guy says, "Oh my God, you're right. So the guy launches into a sermon in fire and brimstone. An hour and a half, he just works himself up to a frenzy. Finally, he gets all done, and he goes down to the farmer and says, "Well, what'd you think?" And the farmer says, "Well, if I only have one cow, I don't give him the whole load."
Oh, gosh.
So
That's
even
cute.
if we only have 2 students, we're still going to do the class. We're still going to do it.
We're still going to do it. Well, I think Kane and I talked about perhaps doing some boosting of it and making more people aware that we're having it, and that we can live stream it, which is really good. And it will start on April 17th. So you have time. If you order your materials today, you'll still have time to get your materials. And it's imperative that you do this sooner than later so that you can get your materials. And you sign up on our site, and it gives you the link then to go to the Buffini site to sign up for the materials. So it's 2 clicks away from signing up. And of course, Jimmy, what is it, $3.95?
Plus shipping and handling. It's less than 1/10 of a commission. And this, I've mentioned this before, this will be the only time I do it this year. I'm not doing it again. This is it. You take it or you miss it. Right.
So everybody, please go to our site, b.social savvy. Oh God, B.Vegas for the training calendar. And you'll see it there. You'll see the April 13th class about the cap rates and the cash on cash. You'll see the Brian Buffini class, which is the 17th of April, and our other classes that we have. So everybody, while you're at home, let's get educated and let's get started with Brian Buffini. I mean, you basically have 9 months left in this year, and I guarantee you can fit 12 months of business into those 9 months if you follow some of the things that Jimmy and I talk about on a regular basis and get into Buffini.
Did you see Aaron gave us a cow in the chat?
Oh, let's see.
A cow.
Oh.
Thanks, Aaron. Somebody has a sense of humor.
That is cute. And Mary Ellen, hi. Good to see you too. We've got good to see you, Mary Ellen. Hope everything's doing well. Yes, and hope everybody again, please sign up for Buffini and sign up for the investor class on April 13th. So go to b.vegas and easy to remember, bee.vegas for the training calendar, and sign up for as much training as you can, because now you've got the time. And we're all about staying connected with you also. Jimmy, I guess we'll see everybody tomorrow.
Okay, my last comment, don't wait for your ship to come in, swim out to meet it. Go get it. Go
I
to
love
work.
it. I love that. I love that. And everybody be happy. Remember, drink water. Drink water every 15 minutes. If you wash any germs down that throat of yours, your stomach acid will kill the virus and kill germs. So remember to drink lots of water every 15 minutes. I said yesterday, half your weight in water every day. So I drink 5 16-ounce bottles of Fiji every day. And yes, I weigh 160 pounds. So let's go get them, everybody. We'll be
Thanks,
back
Ruthie.
tomorrow. Bye,
Okay.
everybody.